He sent me a video post-fight conference where, talking about, oh, you can't skip over France. I'm like, this is nothing, right? Like, Dana White's a liar.
Yeah. Tell Sadiq if he's afraid to come on live on TV, he can chime in the chat. Okay, we are live. What is going on, everybody? This is the lunch break hot take. I am Jose.
And I am Rodney.
And we are here, as you can see, to discuss UFC 252, Miocic versus Cormier 3.
Yeah. That was a sad end for Cormier. It was sad to see him go out like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because we were rooting for Cormier, right? But it wasn't heartbreaking. Like he fought a good fight. He did. He fought a great fight, especially considering he couldn't see out of the one eye. Right. But it seems like that's going to be the story of Cormier's career. Is great fighter, but just not good enough to beat the top guys. I don't look at it that way. He beat Miocic already. First time they finally knocked him out.
He knocked him out.
Can't take that away.
Miocic did. He said it was a lucky punch, and then he beat him twice. So,
but I mean, you can look at that second fight and say, okay, that was a lucky punch because he dominated Miocic in that second fight.
You could, and then he beat him the second time.
I don't look at it. I mean, look, I don't look at it that way. I look at DC as one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That fight wasn't going to change my mind either way.
No. But it's the fact that he has that, and combined with not being able to beat Jon Jones.
Yeah.
And so like when I think of Cormier, I'm not thinking of the big win over Vulcan.
Right.
I'm thinking of, man, he lost 2 out of 3 to Stipe, and he lost twice to Jon Jones, even though they changed the 1 to a no contest.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some controversy with the Jon Jones loss, right? You and I think, look, it didn't really matter. Jon Jones was going to win, but when you test positive for steroids, man, it matters, and you can't discount that.
It matters. I wouldn't call it controversy. Like, okay, you didn't get the win, but Jon Jones didn't get the win, but we all saw you knock Cormier out. Like, that happened. It's like USC in Oklahoma, right? Okay, you took away USC's title, but I still watched them, run Oklahoma off the field by 50. That still happened. Right.
Look, only one person could be the greatest of all time, right? Yeah. Right now, it's looking like Jon Jones. Like, only one can be the greatest of all time. You can still be great. So, as far as I'm concerned, man, like, that doesn't really, like, Cormier's legacy is set. So,
yeah, no, it is. It is. And while we're speaking of the greatest of all time, Jon Jones hopped on Twitter last night and was calling out Stipe, saying he wants a shot at the heavyweight title. Yeah. And so now there's this big debate whether, Jon Jones should get a shot at the title or whether it should be Francis Ngannou. And I'm sitting here, I'm just wondering, like, what debate? Francis he fought Stipe already and got washed.
Yeah. Real quick, Seahawks girl, crowd pleaser, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining. Make sure you follow us. All right. Follow us on here. Follow us everywhere. You can Google us, LBHTShow. We will pop up everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We even have TikTok. We haven't set that up yet, but we'll be everywhere. So give us a follow. We're also on YouTube. So we talk a lot of football, basketball. Obviously, right now we're talking MMA. We like to talk sports. We even do video games. So give us a follow if you like our content.
Or if you don't, feel free to follow also.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Should it be Stipe against Ngannou? Or do you think they should let Jon Jones move up and get that shot?
So if I'm Stipe, I want to fight Ngannou again, because I think there's some things that Stipe needs to work on before he takes on Jon Jones, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm Dana White, I want Ngannou, because you and I had some criticisms of Dana White. He doesn't really know how to develop fighters brand, right? Mm-hmm. Brand wise. You got to create some hype behind these fighters. Stipe is the greatest heavyweight of all time. Right. How many people, like, he's not a household name though, right? If you just ask the average fan who's the greatest heavyweight in UFC history, they'll probably say Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar already had a brand name going into UFC. That's just that's the truth, right? People know Brock Lesnar. You have to build up Stipe, man. Like, he's a great fighter, right? Let him get some more wins, some dominant wins to build his name brand a little bit, and then you set him up in a fight with Jon Jones, and that can be a mega fight. Oh, Seahawks girl, thank you for the tip.
Nice.
Look,
thank you.
We're new to sportscasters. So we're not quite sure what the tips are for.
but thank you anyway. And also,
thank you.
Pleaser, thank you for the follow.
Yes, thank you. This is our second stream on Sportscaster. We're still not trying to figure out some things, but thank you for the tip. We appreciate that. So you should build these fighters' brands so you can have that super fight, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to stay true to Dana form, then it's got to be Jon Jones next, right?
Well, yeah, and we should say that he was in the post-fight press conference last night saying, "Oh, you can't skip over Francis Ngannou. He's been out there wrecking people." Which, I mean, I'm not saying that's not true, but he's been wrecking people who don't matter. And also, Dana White saying something doesn't mean anything at all.
Yeah.
2 months ago, or a few months ago, UFC 250, Amanda Nunes was the main event. Back in 2017, he said she would never main event a pay-per-view ever again.
Yeah, Dana White is just way too emotional, man.
Yeah.
Way too emotional.
And he says things without thinking. So that's neither here nor there. I think that Stipe does have the wins. Like, they just haven't pushed him. They haven't given him the promotion. Like, you're looking at a fight that should be the best heavyweight of all time versus, potentially the greatest fighter of all time. And, there are some people excited for it, but it feels like why would you be pushing for Francis Ngannou? Like, that would be one of the biggest fights you've ever had, Jon Jones and Stipe.
Right.
And it feels like the buzz for it just isn't where it should be, because they don't build up the fighters appropriately. Yeah.
I think right now, today, if we're talking about what's the bigger draw, like bringing in like the casual fan, is probably Ngannou and Jon Jones, right? Just because that's kind of been hyped up a little bit. You hear the comparisons to Deontay Wilder with Ngannou, right? You don't really hear Miocic's name out there anywhere. It's sad because he's that guy. Right. Mary remembers 85. Thank you for joining the broadcast. Make sure you give us a follow here and everywhere. LBHTShow. We are everywhere. So Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. YouTube. But no, like, Jones and Miocic should be the super fight, right? And I understand why Jones wants to take that fight, man. Like, as good as Miocic is, there's some holes in his game that I think Jon Jones could easily exploit.
Right. I look at like a Roy Jones, John Ruiz situation. I mean, obviously, Stipe is better than John Ruiz.
Right.
But he looks at it as, I think probably a safer fight than, because Francis Ngannou, he fought Francis Ngannou. Like, that's a huge guy, and he has tons of power. And yeah, Jon Jones is a better fighter than him. But, he lands one good shot, Jon Jones is going to sleep, and there goes your legacy. I mean, not completely, but, that's something that people are going to remember, you getting knocked out. I don't think he sees Stipe as having that ability to put him out like that.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. He watched Cormier fight him 3 times, and Cormier is somebody, Jon Jones has dominated for the most part. And I think he looks at that and says, look, I've watched 3 fights of Stipe fighting, one of my best opponents. And I think there's just some major holes I think he can exploit. He struggled with Cormier, just throwing him hands, just stand up fighting. He struggled. Cormier is a great fighter. Let's not,
right.
But the striking, I mean, like, he's a smaller guy, shorter reach, and he still was able to find his way to Stipe whenever he wanted to.
Like, how many times did you hit him with that same overhand right? Like, I'm faking the shoot and I'm hitting you with the overhand.
Yeah,
it landed every time.
Every time, right? And now we're talking about Jon Jones, who's a taller, lengthier fighter, and who is just as great with his feet as he is with his hands.
Yeah, he's 10 times the striker that Cormier is.
Yeah, I think he could pick apart Miocic right now. Miocic is a great fighter in within himself. So I think give him a fight or two to make some adjustments and it'll be a better fight. Like Miocic is that type of person that can make some adjustments.
Yeah.
So that would be, that's the fight that should happen.
Yeah. We'll see what Dana does. But we should move on to the rest of the actual event from yesterday.
Yeah. Another fight.
Started off with John Dodson against Merba Valishvili.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if I'm saying that right. But, John Dodson, he's a tiny little guy, got short arms, short legs, and he's super fast. He's super quick. He's bouncing around the ring all the time. And so guys can't grab him, they can't bring him down. Right. And that was no different last night. Valishvili couldn't hold him down, couldn't pin him to the mat. But when he got to his feet, Dodson just didn't do anything. He just kind of stood around. He wasn't really throwing. He was waiting around for a perfect opening, and it never came. And so, he got blanked basically.
Yeah.
Three rounds to none.
I've watched Dodson from before he entered the UFC. He was in a couple of local events around here, and I was kind of put onto him right before he entered UFC, and they did the Ultimate Fighter show. So I knew he was talented. Yeah. And going in, I thought he was going to be really good, but I feel like there's just some missteps along the way, man. Like, the UFC thing to do is once you showcase a little bit of talent, you get thrown into these fights with great fighters.
Yeah.
And at his weight class, you have one of the greatest fighters of all time, Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse. And I think that set him back a little bit. And I think he himself, I'm not sure if it's, you can blame his gym, his trainers or what, or it's just him not making adjustments. There's always just that thing missing from him. Like, and you kind of alluded to it earlier. He's super fast. He's a great striker, but he doesn't quite finish. He doesn't know how to take advantage of certain situations. And there's too many times in a fight where he's just kind of standing around. And that's been him his whole career.
Right.
And I wish he could have just added that little bit more to his game to be a dominant fighter, but he hasn't been able to do it.
Yeah, it almost seems like he's always looking for the highlight knockout. Like, I want it to be picture perfect, and I want to land this one shot and put him out. And so he just kind of waits around, and a lot of times it doesn't come. He's had a good career. He's not a great fighter, and wasn't a great performance last night.
No.
He had a better night than Herbert Burns had, though. Herbert went and literally paid somebody to beat his ass yesterday.
Man, look. That is a definition of ground and pound. I don't know how you guys feel about those type of fights that are mostly on the ground, right? To me, I can appreciate those kind of fights, man. It's fascinating to me to see how guys can get out of these grapple moves, or get out of being pinned on the ground and work their way into a victory. Because the other dude, wasn't it Pineda? Burns looked like, Burns had him in a bad situation at first. He had him, he had his back, he had him, pinned down pretty well. But Pineda just outworked him, man. He outworked him, and next he's on top of him, and he's just raining elbows down on him. I thought that was impressive.
Yeah, he got him in the crucifix. And once he got there, it was done. It was done.
Yeah.
But that also brings up, and they kind of mentioned it on the broadcast, because Burns, he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Yeah. And
they talk about how, I forget who the other fighter was, but he beat this other black belt, and beat him fairly easily, I guess. Yeah. And they're like, oh, there's levels to the black belts, and he's a high level black belt. And I'm like, okay, is he? Because this dude Pineda, he hasn't fought in the UFC since 2014, I think it was. he's just working his way back, and he clowned Burns yesterday.
Burns, yeah.
I mean, he outworked. It wasn't a case of the jiu-jitsu guy got beat up on his feet because that's not his strength. No, they were on the ground, and he beat him at his own game and beat him bad.
Yeah. Dr. John B, thank you for joining the stream. Make sure you give us a follow.
And just to mention, I say he paid Pineda because he missed weight, and so 20% of his purse went to Pineda yesterday.
Yeah, they did mention that too. Like, how come he couldn't make weight? Like that, I think that was the issue, was his conditioning. I think he kind of had the advantage, but he gassed out. Yeah, and he couldn't hold Pineda, and that's unfortunate. That's not a good reason. You gotta get your conditioning under control.
Listen, I'm guessing that after taking, I don't know, 5-10 consecutive elbows to his forehead, he'll learn that lesson.
Yeah, for sure. If I'm not in the best of shape, you better be ready to finish quick.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna gas out, and you gotta be like, all right, I just gotta go at him.
Mm-hmm. Well, he tried to. If you notice in the first round when Pineda got him down, had him on his back, he tried to go for like a triangle choke. Just he couldn't get it, and like I said, then he got put in the crucifix and got beat down.
Yeah.
So rough night for him. Rough night.
Yeah.
But hopefully he shows up a little better in his next fight. They keep saying he's like an up and coming fighter or whatever. He's 32, but we'll see.
Yeah. But let's talk about our guy, Connor Takashi 6'9".
You gonna stop disrespecting the Sugar Show.
What's
Sean O'Malley?
O'Malley,
yeah. He fought Marlon Vera. O'Malley's like the big up and coming bantamweight. He was 12-0. A bunch of knockouts. Really impressive striker.
Yeah.
And apparently he's pretty good on the ground also. But striking is really his thing. But yeah, he's got the rainbow colored hair and got all the tattoos and all the style and everything. And then he also caught a couple of vicious elbows and ended his night.
Yeah, shout out to Vera, man. Shout out to Marlon Vera. Look, respect to Marlon Vera, because if you guys didn't see the fight, O'Malley, what was it? His ankle, his knee, like he hurt himself pretty bad.
Yeah,
right.
He wasn't really able to move around. Like he rolled up his foot.
Yeah,
it looked like he stepped forward and kind of rolled his foot, and I don't know if it was, like you said, I don't know if it was his knee or his ankle or whatever, but he couldn't move around very much. And to be fair, up until that point, Vera was extremely cautious. Like he was going for all of O'Malley's fakes. He was getting out of his way. He wasn't being aggressive. And once he saw O'Malley hurt himself, he started coming forward hard.
Yeah, but right when he hurt himself, like he recognized O'Malley's hurt. Like his knee buckled. Right. Yeah. He gave O'Malley. He walked away. He gave O'Malley. He's like, look, I'm gonna give you a minute to get yourself together. Like he didn't go right in. He could have pounced on him right away. But he's like, all right. He's like, he took a step back and just
let him get up and they got back to fighting. But he wasn't the same. And at one point, at the end of the fight, he kind of just, he got pushed, he got hit, but O'Malley just laid down.
Yeah,
and I was like, we're not gonna do this on the feet anymore. Let's get on the ground. And that was a mistake.
And also shout out to the ref, because the ref understood what was going on, and he didn't really let O'Malley take a huge beating.
Right, because he could have gotten seriously hurt. He only got he wasn't really hurt from the elbows, right?
Right.
But he knew the fight was over at that point, and there was no reason to let him take 2 or 3 more shots until he was woozy or unconscious.
Right.
But they do that a lot in the UFC.
Yeah.
So I know you're seeing 4, 5, 6 people in your vision right now, and you're bleeding from 5 different places, but I'm gonna see if you can come back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you another 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. You better show me something.
Yeah.
Their last event, they had one of the broadcasters screaming at the ref to stop the fight.
Yeah.
It's a sad state in the UFC.
But this time around, it was a good stoppage, and there's no real protest, and O'Malley couldn't even get up, not from the hits. Like he was just in pain. Like they had to him on the stretcher. He got
elbowed a few times in the head, and when they stopped the fight, he grabbed his knee and was just laying there.
Yeah,
it's sad. We'll see. I'm sure he'll be back. I guess that's not the first time he's injured his foot or his leg.
Yeah.
But hopefully he comes back. He's got a ton of talent. Ton of talent.
He'll come back. He'll come back. You know, a loss in UFC don't mean anything. You know?
No, it really doesn't.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't.
He'll be fine. He'll be just fine. I know he was. I know it's a disappointment for him because he was expecting to win this fight and then prep himself for a huge payday, right?
Yeah.
So it's minus
calling out Cody Garbrandt and Henry Cejudo for a while. I mean, look, I'm sure he feels like he's that talented that he could take them, but I don't know why you would go out there and say Garbrandt and Cejudo don't want to fight you. I mean, Garbrandt, okay, like, you know, obviously he's got some flaws to his game. Henry Cejudo went out there and beat, one of the greatest of all time in Demetrius Johnson. He's not afraid of you.
Yeah, no, I get why you do it. It's branding, right? Like UFC, you have to sell yourself. They're not going to sell you. And like just his whole style, like the colored hair, the trash talking, like, you know, you're trying to, you know, mold yourself in like Conor, which you should, you know, that's that path you want to follow, you know. Right. I think he's trying to make himself marketable.
Yeah, the sugar show, man.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I tease him, but yeah, I get it. You know, you want to stand out, you know, and if you can stand out like that and be a great fighter, yeah, there's gonna be some money in it for you.
Yeah, he's in the division to do it. You know, the bantamweight, the bantamweight division is hot. Like, it's deep. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if he can get a little following, get a couple of big wins, yeah, he'll be on that Conor path.
Yeah. So yeah, minor setback. We'll see how he bounces back. But shout out to Vera. That was a good win for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there another fight?
Yeah, the last fight we have to talk about. I honestly, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say this dude's name. It's Rosenstrike is his last name. I'm not sure how to say his first name.
Me neither. I just call him Rosenstrike.
Yeah, but he fought Junior Dos Santos, or a Junior Dos Santos impersonator. He had that mustache on. I didn't know if that was him or not. I said last night he looked like he was in
mustache. That's crazy.
He looked like he was in witness protection.
Like I imagine that's how the people of Metropolis see Clark Kent, right? When he puts on the glasses, and he's just like, why can't you see the difference? Because I'm telling you, like, I know how Junior Dos Santos looks. Yeah, I know how he looks. And then when they were they're showing an interview with him, and all he had was a mustache. That was it.
Yeah,
I was like, who's that?
It's not even a big mustache.
No,
like, it's just a tiny little mustache. It's like, who's this dude? Is that his father? His brother? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, he looked completely different. Yeah, it's crazy. Just a little, you know. And I was like, who's that? His trainer? Yeah, like
I like Junior. You know, I watched the Ultimate Fighter season with him. Yeah, he seems like a really good guy. You know, and he fought a great fight last night.
He looked great. Yeah,
you know, he was moving around a lot. He was being pretty cautious, but, you know, he was picking his shots and he was doing well. And he got caught one time.
That was it.
One time, and it was over.
He looked crisp throughout the whole fight.
Yeah,
you know, great movement. I mean, and Rosenstruck, you can see the flaws in his game, man. Like he's just flat-footed.
I mean, he looks like he has never stretched in his life. I saw him throwing those leg kicks, and literally his leg was the only part of him that was moving. It was incredible.
Yeah. So,
like, you don't want to put any hip into that or nothing? Just gonna toss your foot out there.
Yeah, I don't know where Dos Santos goes from here. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be tough. Yeah, he's had a rough go of it recently, but like I said, he looked great yesterday. He got caught one time, but he looked great overall. So, I mean, he'll get another shot, but it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for him to climb back.
Well, he'll get another shot just because. I mean, how many people are at the top in the heavyweight division?
Well, I think it's going to be tough because the guys who are at the top, you know, you got Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou and obviously Rosenstrike, like they're all like huge hitters.
Yeah, you
know, and so, you know, he's going to run into that same problem of I got to fight perfectly or I'm going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'd love to see him fight again. I'm a big fan of Dos Santos.
Yeah,
he's fun to watch.
Me too. Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much our wrap up. You know, want to come on here real quick and you know, thank you guys for joining us on the live stream. Where should we send? Do we have the link in our description? The link tree?
You know, I believe I put it in there, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, we have a link tree that has all our links to, you know, social media and everything, and our podcast and our website. It should be in our profile right now, but if it's not, I'll add it after we log off here.
Yeah. If you like what you see here, you know, like I said, follow us. Send us an email, LBHTShow@gmail.com. Give us your thoughts. This is only our second stream on Sportscaster. We're still trying to get a feel for it. But if you guys like the content, we'll stream more. We cover UFC, we cover NFL, we cover NBA.
Yeah, NBA playoffs getting ready to start, so we'll be on here to cover that.
Yeah,
cover my Lakers.
Yep, cover my Nets
for those 4 games.
Yeah. Hey, look, they're gonna be some hard-fought 4 games.
Yeah.
And we'll be here to talk about it. Man.
And we'll definitely be back next month. They got a couple of big-time UFC fights in September.
Yeah.
We got Teron Woodley and Colby Covington. Man, I don't know what's been going on with Teron Woodley. He's looked awful in his last 2 fights.
It looks like all just confidence things, man. It doesn't look like it doesn't really look like he's washed. It just looks like he just has this mental block where he just
But that that sometimes that's what being washed looks like for you. Like against Usman and his last fight against Burns, he looks like he just can't pull the trigger anymore.
Yeah.
But he's got Covington next month. That one's actually not even a pay-per-view. That one's on just I think ESPN
Fight Night. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be here to talk about that. I hope he can show up. Better than he has last couple times.
Oh, mm-hmm. Do you guys like the shirt? do you like that? Do you like that shirt? You can get one. You can get one. We sell shirts. We're selling some merch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hoodies, mugs, anything, whatever you want.
Yeah. Just tpublic.com. Just search for LBHT Show. Will pop up, or you click into our link tree under store, and that's the link that'll take you to all of our goodies. And we're gonna add some more stuff here pretty soon. So, if you like that, we've got some simple designs right now. We're gonna add some more designs pretty soon. Check it out. But if Woodley gets past Covington, he could be back on track, right?
Yeah. And then the following week after that, we got Israel Adesanya and
that's
gonna be a huge fight. I cannot wait for that. Cannot wait for it.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Send us a message here in the chat or email or whatever. Who do you have in that one? We got Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, I mean, Costa's a wrecking ball. He's coming forward and he's swinging no matter what. And I understand why people are intrigued by it, right? But I feel like that's going to play right into what Adesanya wants. Adesanya's last fight against Romero was really boring, and that was because he was just sitting back waiting for Romero to attack him. He's a counterpuncher. Yeah, and Romero said, "No, not doing it." That's not going to be a problem with Costa.
Right,
Costa's going to come at him, and he's going to give him ample opportunity to counter strike and get him out of there.
And the problem with Costa is all the fights that I've seen him fight, he gasses out pretty quickly.
Well,
he goes 100%, and that's why he's able to win a lot of times. But if he doesn't put you away quite early, like there's some problems, because that Yoel Romero fight was really close. Mm-hmm. And depending on who you talk to, some might say Romero should have had that win. And that's just because Romero is very tough. He's a good counter puncher, and you can't just put him away just like that.
That dude is like 75 years old.
Yeah,
he made a solid rock. That dude is made of granite.
Yeah, he's chiseled. But Adesanya is an excellent fighter. I think he kind of throws people off because he's a little he's lengthy. He's a little slimmer.
Wiry. Doesn't have a lot of muscle on him, it looks like.
But he's got the power. So that's going to be an interesting fight to watch. So we'll be covering that one as well. But I think that's going to be it for this broadcast. We've been streaming for almost 30 minutes here. Thank you for watching the stream. If you like what you see, give us a follow. Follow us here. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at LBHT Show. We also have a website, lbhtshow.com. We write articles. We have a podcast. You can find all the stuff on the website, or you can go wherever you listen to podcasts, Anchor, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher,
Podchaser.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep. We also post videos on YouTube. We are everywhere. So if you like the content, give us a follow, check us out, and we will see you guys next time.
You have to click